Dheeraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribhajakacharya Ashtatarasta Sri Srimati Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribhajakacharya Ashtatarasta Sri Srimati Bhakti Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya SCSMission morning class Dandavat. Haribol. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the first volume of the Antya Lila. Now we are in the 4th chapter, and this is called Sanatana Goswami Visits the Lord.
Sanatana Goswami visits the Lord.
Visits the Lord. So now Srila Sanatana Goswami has arrived in Jagannath Puri, and he's staying in the cottage of Haridas Thakur, but he's very unhappy because he feels that his physical condition is a disturbance to Mahaprabhu and others. So Mahaprabhu has been speaking about Anupama, the youngest brother of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami's younger brother. He passed away. Mahaprabhu was glorifying him, and Rupa and Srila Sanatana Goswami tells the incident about his he and Srila Rupa Goswami were encouraging him to worship Krishna, and he couldn't do it. So Mahaprabhu said, there's a similar incident regarding Murari Gupta, and formerly I examined him, and the result was similar. And so then Mahaprabhu is saying, glorious is that devotee who does not give up the shelter of his Lord. And glorious is that Lord who does not abandon his servant. So, by his very nature, by his very inner actual self, he was fully dedicated to Ramachandra and could not give up the service of Ramachandra as his Ishtadev, his Lord. If by chance a servant falls down and goes somewhere else, glorious is that master who captures him and brings him back by the hair. Please grab me by the hair. Bala haila tomar iha haila gamane, egare raha iha haridasa sane. It is very good that you have arrived here. Now stay in this room with Haridas Thakur. Krishna Bhakti Rase Duhe Parama Pradana, Krishna Rasa Asvadana, Kardalaha Krishna Nama. Both of you are expert in understanding the mellows of Lord Krishna's devotional service. Therefore, you should both continue relishing the taste for such activities and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Atabali Mahaprabhu Uttiya Chalila, Govinda Dvaraya Dunhe Prasada Pataila. Having said this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and left, and through Govinda, he sent prasadam for them to eat. So, neither Sanatana Goswami nor Haridas Thakur went to the temple of Jagannath. Because of their association with the Muslims, they considered themselves to be not fit. So they never went. So Mahaprabhu arranged with Govinda, his personal servant, to bring Jagannath Prasadam to them. Ehe mata sanatana rahe prabhustane, Jagannath tera chakradeki, parena praname. In this way, Sanatana Goswami stayed under the care of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would see the chakra the wheel on the pinnacle of the Jagannath temple and offer respectful obeisances. Prabhuasi pratidina milena duijane ishtagoshi Krishna katha kahe katakshane. Every day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go there to meet these two stalwart devotees and discuss topics of Krishna with them for some time. So every day Mahaprabhu was going to see them. Divya prasada paya nitya Jagannath mandire taha ani nitya apasya dena donha kare. The offerings of prasadam in the temple of Lord Jagannath were of the highest quality. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bring this prasadam and deliver it to his two devotees. Akadina asi prabhu duhare malila sanatane achambite kahite lagila. One day when the Lord came to meet them, he suddenly began speaking to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana deha tyage Krishna jaripaye koti deha kshane ke tabe chadite pariye. My dear Sanatana, he said, if I could attain Krishna by committing suicide, I would certainly give up millions of bodies without a moment's hesitation. Deha tyage Krishna na pai paye bhajane Krishna praptyera upaya kona nahi bhagine. You should know that one cannot attain Krishna simply by giving up the body. Krishna is attainable by devotional service. There is no other means for attaining him. So I don't know whether by this time Sanatana Goswami was still thinking that. He was thinking that when he first came to Puri. But Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, he's giving him some instruction about this in a general way for us. But, I don't know whether that had already passed or what. Deha tyagati jata shabbatamo dharma tamorajo dharme krishnera napayat paye marma. Acts such as suicide are influenced by the mode of ignorance. And in ignorance and passion, one cannot understand who Krishna is. Bhakti bine Krishna kabunahe premodaya prema bina Krishna prapti anya haitenaya. Unless one discharges devotional service, one cannot awaken one's dormant love for Krishna. And there is no means for attaining him other than awakening that dormant love. Unless one discharges devotional service, one cannot awaken one's dormant love for Krishna. And there is no other means for attaining him other than awakening that dormant love. Na sadayati mam yogo, na shankyam dharma uddhava, na svadhyayastapastyago, jata bhakti mamorjita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, said, my dear Uddhava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, which is the mystic yoga system for controlling the senses, nor through the impersonal monism, nor an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyas can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me. And this verse is from the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. Deha tyagadi tamo dharma pataka karana sadaka napayatate krishnara charana. Measures like suicide are cause of sin. A devotee never achieves shelter at Krishna's lotus feet by such actions. Premi bhakta viyoge chahe deha chadite preme Krishna mile seha napare marite. Because of feelings of separation from Krishna, an exalted devotee sometimes wants to give up his life. So these are different kinds of things. By such ecstatic love, however, one attains the audience of Krishna, and at that time he cannot give up his body. So these are he's saying, in transcendental love, one sometimes, because of separation, wants to give up his body, leave his body behind and join Krishna. This is a different thing. This is a completely different thing. Gada nuragera viyoga nayaya sahana tate anuragi vanche apanamarana. One who is deeply in love with Krishna cannot tolerate separation from the Lord. Therefore, such a devotee always desires his own death. So this is a very strange statement to us, but I heard Srila Guru Maharaj talking about this. He said that the devotee wants to give so much that he feels like he should give, like he wants to die in the service of Krishna. He wants to sacrifice everything, but he does not die. Instead, he achieves a deeper relationship with Krishna and goes on like this. This is a different thing. This is a transcendental, wonderful thing. Na sajati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma uddhava, na svadhyayastapastyago, yata bhaktir manojita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, "My dear Uddhava, neither through a stone..." Sorry, that page. Okay. So, text 63. Yasyangri pankaja rajasnapanam mahanto vanchanchuma patir ivatma tamopahatyai yahyam bujaksha nalabeya bhavat prasaram jahyam asun vratak Krishnan chatta janmabhisyat. O lotus-eyed one, great personalities like Lord Shiva desire to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet to drive away ignorance. If I do not get the mercy of your lordship, I shall observe vows to reduce the duration of my life, and thus I shall give up bodies for hundreds of births, if it is possible to get your mercy in that way. If by dying 1,000,000 times I could get your mercy, I'm happy to do that. This verse was spoken by Rukmini Devi in Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto. Rukmini Devi, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, had heard about Krishna's transcendental attributes, and thus she desired to get Krishna as her husband. Unfortunately, her elder brother Rukmi was envious of Krishna and therefore wanted her to be offered to Shishupal. When Rukmini became aware of this, she was greatly aggrieved. Thus she wrote Krishna a confidential letter, which was presented and read to him by a Brahmin messenger. This verse appeared in that letter. Any questions? Sinchangana svad adaramrita purakena hasavaloka kalagita jahrich chayagnim no chedvayam viraha jagnyupayukta deha dhyanena yama padayo padivim shakete. Oh dear Krishna, by your smiling glances and melodious talk, you have awakened a fire of lusty desires in our hearts. Now you should extinguish that fire with a stream of nectar from your lips by kissing us. Kindly do this. Otherwise, dear friend, the fire within our hearts will burn our bodies to ashes because of separation from you. Thus, by meditation, we shall claim shelter at your lotus feet. So, again, and I'm always saying this, if we think that this has something to do with our experience in mundane life, we are very, very grievously deluded. This has nothing to do with those kind of gross feelings in mundane life. These are transcendental, loving feelings. And lust in divine existence, this being a very low reflection of that, is the desire to serve, the need to serve Krishna. We can't conceive of these things. Madhura Rasa is beyond our conception, but we have to keep in mind that these are very different things, extremely different. The difference between gold and coal.
That reminds me, I had a conversation with someone the other day, who's on wearing tilak, and they're like, "Oh, Haribol," and made conversation. And I asked them if they're they asked me what my name was, and I said, "Well, I'm Sundari Devi Dasi, servant of," and they're like, "It's actually not Devi Dasi, because when they're in old times, the servant, and when women have that name, they're it was for an exploited reason. Women were to serve for mundane reasons." And I said, "Are you sure about that?"
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
Of course not.
No, but that it's a very high thing, actually.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, not a low thing. Everything in the mundane plane is low, and the same words can be applied, just like lusty can be applied. But Devi Dasi has been given to us by our gurus as, it is a very respectable thing, a very highly honorable thing.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I was able to have that.
Very.
Yes.
Everyone's getting their little opinions,
Oh, of course.
cooking their opinions in the little cooking pot of the mind. So, when we've been told something by our gurus and we can't understand it, it is our own deficiency. So we should endeavor to understand things rather than change them. You know what I mean? Ka buddhi chadiyakara shravana kirtana achirat pave tabe krishnera charana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, "Give up your nonsensical desires, for they are unfavorable for getting shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Engage yourself in chanting and hearing, and thus you will soon achieve the shelter of Krishna without a doubt." So, that answers my question. Nicha jati nahe Krishna bhajane ayogya, satkula vipranahe bhajane ayogya. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna, nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in an aristocratic family of Brahmins. That question of birth is not applicable. Jai bhaje se badda abhakta hinachara, Krishna bhajane nahi jate kuladi vichara. Anyone who takes to devotional service is exalted, whereas a non-devotee is always condemned and abominable. And this is arguably so. No one can really challenge these statements by the Lord. They can, but they will, then they will have to learn something. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord, there is no consideration of the status of one's family, because it is transcendental. The service of the Lord is on the nirguna plane. On the saguna plane, where the modes of material nature are being examined, and the mode of goodness being higher than the mode of passion, and the mode of passion being higher than the mode of ignorance, then there's gradation in the varnashram system. But on the nirguna plane, those things have no play. But it is favorable generally to come to the lifestyle of goodness for us students, sadhakas, newcomers. It is very, very helpful for us to engage in a lifestyle which is not degrading. That is not to be ignored. We are extremely susceptible to sinful activity, and it can very much interfere with our progress on our level. Dinera adikadaya kare bhagavan kulina pandita danira abhiman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always favorable to the humble and meek. But aristocrats, learned scholars, and the wealthy are always proud of their positions. So it can become a very big abhiman, cause a great pride. I am a Brahmin, I am wealthy, so these things can become very much antithetical to devotional practice. So we have to notice when we sing Om Agyana Timirandasya, that means I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and keep that in mind.
What does it mean of Timirandasya?
It means, I'm no Sanskrit scholar, but I think it means darkness. But the translation is that I'm born in the darkness of ignorance. So we need to keep this in mind. And when we're worshiping Gurudev, Om Agyana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chak. But you have opened my eyes with the torch, it's like a surgical instrument. You've opened my eyes. You're covered with ignorance, and you've opened them up with the torchlight of knowledge. Sometimes it's given like that. And we have to keep this in mind always. When we say Tomara Karuna Sar, I mean, your mercy is everything, means it's everything. It's the highest thing. It's all. Otherwise, I'm just going to follow my mind and my senses and go to a harsh future with no question of developing actual, honest, dignified, noble life of actual devotion. We'll just do the fake devotion thing to get what we want. Ugh. And then so much reaction of that nonsense kind of life. But except for Gurudev, there is no question of my ever having gotten off that path. It would go on perpetually. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always favorable to the humble and meek. Favorable, he's very merciful. But aristocrats, learned scholars, and the wealthy are always proud of their positions. Vipradvi sadguna yutadara vindanava padara vindram vimukat svapacham varishtam manye tadarpita manovachane hitarta pranam punati sakulam natuburimana. One may be born in a Brahmin family and have all 12 Brahminical qualities. But if in spite of being thus qualified, he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Krishna, who has a navel shaped like a lotus, he is not as good as a chandala, means a dog eater. He is not as good as a chandala who has dedicated his mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the service of the Lord. So one is born in a chandala family. If he devotes his life, of course he's not going to continue with that lifestyle, but his birth will not affect his glorious position. Simply to take birth in a Brahmin family or to have Brahminical qualities is not sufficient. One must be a pure devotee of the Lord. Thus, if a Swapacha or Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself, but his entire family as well. Whereas a Brahmin who is not a devotee, but simply has Brahminical qualifications, cannot even purify himself, and what to speak of his family. Any question about that? Bhajanera Majje Shvesta Navavidha Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dare Mahashakti. Among the ways of executing devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam. For these processes have great potency to deliver Krishna and ecstatic love for him. So again, the 9 processes of devotional service are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We know them, right? Do you know them? Huh?
Could you please repeat the question? I was going to ask you another question, but you asked me something. If I
You know the 9 processes.
The 9 processes? Yeah.
Shravanam, Kirtanam. You want to say them with me? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Very good. Do you have another question?
Yeah, you said to deliver Krishna and love for him. So those are 2 things, different things, or are the same?
I mean, they're the same and different.
The same and different.
Yeah.
So what we do is our goal him or love for him?
Well, you can't separate them.
You can separate.
No. Yeah, they're mentioned as separate, but you can see that they're one and separate. Separate and one. Krishna is Krishna. Love for Krishna is love for Krishna. But Krishna is Krishna. But both of those things, but love of Krishna and Krishna, they can't be separated from one another at all, ever. But still, there's 2 different things there.
That's why we worship Mahaprabhu, right?
Very important. Mahaprabhu is distributing love of God, but not just ordinary love of God. He's distributing his own love of God as Radharani. So these are such high things. But what Mahaprabhu is giving, no one else has ever given. It's not possible to give that. It's his property. And he's so magnanimous. He's coming to the lowest person to give that, to give the highest thing. He has no contempt. He's not like, oh, you're just so gross. Oh, here, you'd have something, go away. He's giving everything to everyone.
Wow.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Devahuti says to Kapila Dev, Aho bhatta swapacha to gariyan jadvagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhuvu shashnurarya brahmanucho nama grihnanti te jete. O my Lord, even a person born in a family of dog eaters is glorious if he always chants the holy name of the Lord. Such a person has already performed all types of austerities, penances, and Vedic sacrifices, has already bathed in the sacred rivers. So even if he's never done that actually physically, or maybe he has in the past, but he's saying, even if he's born in the family of of dog eaters. They're considered like the worst. Such a person he already has the results of all kinds of austerities, penances, and Vedic sacrifices. He has already bathed in all the sacred rivers and has studied all the Vedic literature. Thus he has become an exalted personality. Similarly, Kunti Devi says to Lord Krishna, Janmaishvarya Shrutta Shri Bire Tamman Madapuman Narvarhatyabi Datum Vais Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. A person who is proud of his birth, opulence, knowledge, and beauty cannot achieve your lotus feet. You are available only to humble and the meek, not to the proud. So this is Queen Kunti. She's the mother of all the Pandavas. She's the mother of Arjuna. That's why Krishna calls Arjuna Kaunteya. He's the son of Kunti Devi, and so she's the mother, and she's queen. But she has no pride at all, because she's a Vaishnava. Her glorious quality is far greater than the quality of being a queen. That's nothing. Okay, so we will continue with this tomorrow. Can you believe it? So these are great instructions by the Lord. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, do you have a paper in there? Do you want one?
Here, no.
Can you bring one, Prabhu?
I got it.
Do we have more? We have more, I know.
We have more here.
Oh, here, good. Okay, Jai Sri Upadesamrita ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai, and as always, Srimati Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udara Pasta Vegam Etan Vegan Yovisaheta Dira Sarvam Apimam Pritivim Sasishya. That's not an appropriate way to sit in front of the deer. Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangas Chaloyam Cha Sadbir Bhaktir Binashyati Utsahan Nishayadaryat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyagat Sato Vritte Sadbir Bhakti Prasiddhati Dadati Pratigrahnati Guhyam Akyati Prichati Bhunkte Bojayate Chaiva Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam Krishneti Yasya Giritam Manasadriyeta Dikshasti Che Pranati Bischa Bhajantamisham Shishushaya Bhajana Vigyam Ananya Manya Nindari Shunya Hridamit Ipsitalangala Sangalabdya Dishtai Swabhava Janita Vapushascha Doshe Na Prakritatvam Bhakta Janasya Pasye Gangam Vasam Na Kalu Buddha Pena Panka Brahmadravatvam Apagachati Niradharmai. So what is the first verse about?
The 6 different urges.
The urges, right. And the second verse?
About the 6 faults
The
that
6
destroy
faults.
devotion.
Yes. And the third?
The 6 qualities that nourish devotion.
All right. And number 4?
Number 4, the different ways to give love. to the devotees.
Right, the different symptoms of love, right? And then number 5.
Number 5 is honoring the different ways to honor the different gradations of devotees.
Right, and chanting, good, very good. And then number 6.
Now number 6 is the one that we're reading now, that is only see the good qualities of the devotees, like the Ganges water.
Yes,
The Ganges water doesn't lose its spiritual qualities because of its nature,
right, of the external nature.
the external nature.
Yeah, very excellent, I must say. Okay, now we are actually reading this verse 7. We've come to the verse 7 now. So let's read this one. Syat Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pitopatapta rasanasya narochikadnu kinvadaradanuddinam kalu shaiva jushta swadvikramad bhavati tadgudamula hantri. Hantri tadgara. And this is about, can you say it in briefly?
The sugar candy of Krishna's name, pastimes, and so forth, it is not relishable to a tongue severely afflicted by the jaundice of ignorance. Alas, certainly, however, when it is constantly honored with faith, this candy gradually becomes relishable and eradicates the disease.
Jai. Very good. Okay, so now we are on page number 151 of this book, this Upadesamrita, and we're reading the commentary on the 7th verse these commentaries are some of them are directly, and some of them are taken from other talks on the same subject. So now we're on the bottom of page 151. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. He, meaning the Lord, He Himself out of His grace comes down, attracted by our serving nature. We cannot force that. Then He influences the elements and produces the sound, and that is His dancing there. That is Vaikuntanam, the real name. The real name descends. We cannot produce that. We cannot produce that name. The sound of our physical or mental production is not Him. He is separate, but He can come down everywhere, in any form, from any plane, in any plane. Jai Mahaprabhu. Beautiful Mahaprabhu Jai, beautiful Giriraj Ki Jai. He is separate, but He can come down everywhere, in any form, in any plane, because He is controlling everything. Prakritim svam adhishtaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. When I come here by the force of my internal potency, I remove the external potency's influence and appear anywhere and everywhere. She is His maidservant. If He wants Maya to withdraw, she withdraws. It's no problem for Him. When I come here by the force of my internal potency, I remove the external potency's influence and appear anywhere and everywhere. As an airplane flies through the sky, it removes the air and forcibly passes by. Right? Similarly, by removing the influence of material things, He comes with His own force to appear here. So as the Lord is appearing, the material energy is withdrawing. Just like a jet, just like a jet is moving the air away. right?
The Lord is removing
The air can't go, nope. The jet is moving that air, so when Krishna is descending, he's moving the material energy away and descending with full divine potency.
Didi, is it the same to say material energy is equal to ignorance? Is that synonymous?
Sure. Illusion. Illusion is the very, very accurate word.
Illusion is ignorance too?
Of course. If we take one thing to be another, that is certainly ignorance, means not knowing the truth about the situation. It comes in ignore, means not seeing, not taking the trouble to understand a thing. The scriptures and the great Vaishnavas and the saints are come to give us some consciousness. Stop ignoring this. You're acting foolishly. You're not thinking properly at all. You've accepted complete illusion to be real and misunderstood everything. That is the influence of Maya. But she does not force the soul. The soul's free will is bringing himself under her control. So prakritim, okay, is that good? Prakritim svam adhisthaya sambhavam yatmamayaya. I have my own potency, and by the power of that potency, I remove this gross potency and live, move, and act here. He's like, I am not acting under her potency just because I come here. I'm moving all that aside. I love that analogy of the jet. That's really great. So the laws of material nature cannot apply to him. He has special power. With the help of that, he subdues the laws of this nature. And he comes here. Whatever he does with his own potency, meaning his personal potency. And wherever he goes, the laws of nature withdraw and give way to him. Sometimes the foolish, paritagyana. Those people, he said, foolishly, people will look at me and think, oh, he's an ordinary person with some special mystical powers. He says, that's not who I am. Mystical powers are nothing for me. That's just some toy that is offered to the conditioned soul.
On Wednesday, remember that Christian, Maya, and Durga were
I know. That's
so
coming to your Gita class.
So
And we just heard how Durga, or Maya Devi, she came to here and took initiation from Haridas Thakur. She took Harinam initiation from Haridas Thakur.
Durga. Interesting.
Well, Maya Devi has many forms. One of them is Durga.
Don't you think it was
Durga means the mistress of the citadel. The citadel means the prison. She's the mistress of the prison.
Does she also take form in the form of Kali?
Yeah, Kali. Not Kali, but Kali. But the first time Srila Prabhupada said that, we couldn't understand.
Wait, I'm not understanding.
Yeah, we couldn't hear the difference. So Kali is a personality also. Everything has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
So this yuga also has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And that personality was found to be abusing a bull by King Pariksha, and he was going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And that bull represents Dharma.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, then there is Kali. Kali Puja is Durga Puja.
So
So it's Kali or Kali.
okay.
So when Srila Prabhupada, he said, oh, no, not Kali, Kali. And we were like, what? Our ears were not trained yet. We couldn't hear the difference.
So Kali is
Kali Yuga.
okay, and then Kali is
Kali,
okay.
yeah, is one of the forms of Maya Devi.
Judy, I had a question related to what you were reading. Christian, the person that came, the one that we met in Vanya with Sudarshan Prabhu,
Uh-huh.
he came to check the Gita class out.
Uh-huh.
And we were speaking.
I didn't know that was from that.
We were talking to him with the Rupa, and he came up with a really good question. He said, what about these mystic yogis? Why mystic yogis cannot attain this highest conception of reality? And I thought that was a good question. Our answer was because
It's a good question because he's conceiving of those as two different things. So that shows some consciousness.
yes. He
And the
asked-
answer?
Oh, the answer was because there is no devotion in it, or pure devotion. They're still doing it because they're considering themselves the center. By their own will, they want to attain a realization, and they might be divine or they might be self-realized, but not to the highest conception. So I wanted to ask, what would be the appropriate answer to this question?
That is a good answer. It's true. Krishna is only attainable through devotion. And what is the quality of devotion? Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manade. Srila Prabhupada, a mystic, very mystical personality. Srila Gurudev, very mystical. But that was just part of their personality. They didn't feel any existence in itself. Just like it is something for using for the purpose of devotional service. Just like you might be good at doing something, right? But that is your offering, and it's come from Krishna, and it's for Krishna. So mystical qualification may be there in a devotee, but they're not thinking, oh, this is, it's not in and of itself a valuable thing at all. There's no value in it. There's that story, I think I told it here before, but about a man, young boy, leaves the village, and after some years and years he comes back, and he was studying with a mystic, and he practiced the Stanga mystic yoga system with him, and he got some power to be light, very light, so he could walk on water. And Jesus Christ showed that. He had some mystical thing. But in and of itself, that has no value at all. What's the value of it? So he came back to the village. Everyone's crowding around him. Oh, you've come back. Where have you been? Oh, I was studying this and that. And do you have some of those powers? Yes, I can walk on water. Oh, what? You can walk on water? Is it true? And one of the older gentlemen of the village said, oh, that's like 2 paisa. Paisa is less than a penny.
Are you talking about Jesus?
Huh?
Are you talking about Jesus or this other?
No, I'm
this
not
other
talking
guy?
about. Yeah. And he said, oh, that's like 2 paisa worth of knowledge. Because I can take you across the river for 2 paisa. So now you've saved yourself 2 paisa
2 paisas.
after all these years of practice. But it impresses people. So one guy who got kind of popular with a lot of people. He was a mystic, and he could make ashes come from his picture. Ashes. Like that's stuff you sweep up and throw in the garbage. But he could do it. And that little trick, I mean, it's an accomplishment. But it has no real value. But it's coming out of the picture. And that little trick impressed so many people. He had so many followers. But for what? So that you can have some ashes? We can't, without this kind of divine knowledge, it's very difficult to ascertain the value of a thing. If you've lived in a hole all your life, you're going to be really impressed with just about anything. It's like, but because of our gurus, we have something wonderful by which to measure the value of a thing. Do you follow? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, but, but what I'm saying is we have to ascertain what is really valuable and go for that. Come hell or high water. Srila Prabhupada used to say, beg, borrow, or steal, but get this. Don't lose this opportunity. And no one can defeat it. No one. It's all common sense. Once you understand it, it's just common sense. It's absolutely self-effulgently true. You can't compare anything to devotion. Nothing. There's no other value. Everything it adds up to a hill of beans. It's nothing. It doesn't last. It has no real, but everything can be used in the service of the Lord. I mean, Srila Prabhupada did some very miraculous things. Like, very miraculous. But he never laid any stress on it at all. He never even mentioned it. It was, what he was giving was so much more than that. But, anyone can, a devotee, if they have something like that, they can show it to give some light on the thing that is very real value, or to do some seva. But in and of itself, there is no value. There's no value to being Brahma. He has all mystic powers. And there's no value. Guru Maharaj said he can become an insect in his next life. Not this Brahma. This Brahma is a devotee, a great Vaishnava. But just by dint of being Brahma, there's no value. Not that we're disrespectful. We're respecting in everything. We're not trying to be disrespectful or rude. But we have to understand things for what they are. Any other question? How is that? Oh, but I didn't answer your question, did I?
You mentioned that Torana Pishmani, that verse of Mahaprabhu, humble, tolerant.
Humility.
How do we know if those yogis are really humble and tolerant?
What was that?
How do we know that those yogis aren't humble, tolerant?
Those what?
The yogis, that the one that practices.
No, they may be. That's what I'm saying.
Then
It's not that a yogi cannot become a devotee, but if he doesn't, then his yoga perfections have no value. It's not that he can't become a devotee.
It's still temporary.
I mean, Sanatana,
temporary, right?
I'm saying that the value will be that he's a Vaishnava, not that he's a mystic yogi. A mystic yogi who is not a Vaishnava has kind of wasted his time.
And that's because he's not
He's not coming to any real position of eternal, or awaken his actual self. A mystic yogi, when he dies, still doesn't know who he is. You might have been a mystic yogi 15 times already in some billions of lives. What is it doing for you? It's all temporary. And it can augment pride, because you will get worshipped. You start walking on water, world fame instantly. And then what is that going to do for you? Or for anyone? Nothing. It's like Prabhupada used to say, Guru Maharaj uses the expression wild goose chase, which is it's an old American expression also. Just chasing the wild goose, it's like you never find it, you don't get it, you never can find it. And it's just a waste of your whole life. And Prabhupada used to say, it's like phantasmagoria, something that seems to be appearing and then gone.
Interesting. So it will be because they still don't know who they are. They're not awakening their self.
Yeah.
And whatever mystic powers they attain, they're still illusion. They're still temporary.
You can't keep it. It's just been over endeavor, gone terribly, terribly wrong. You can go through this for lifetimes, practicing mystic yoga.
Could you imagine tell them this, like a mystic yogi that was here in Sri Lekha Devi's class? They will get pissed.
I might be in a little trouble.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. What is my position? Nothing. And my illusions are so gross, so stupid, so childish. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. But Mahaprabhu's mercy can go to everyone. They can go to the lowest, to the trees, to the bugs, or to those who are so, like Brahma, or the four Kumaras. They're beyond mystic yoga. And when they smelt the tulsi leaves on the feet of Lord Narayan, their real self awakened and they felt, oh, we were asleep. We were like asleep. So it's not to be, sometimes it's, oh, this and that and that. It's for me that I'm saying all these things in a hard way. Come on, don't get crazy. But I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And anyone can be a Vaishnava. A demigod can become a Vaishnava. There are a Vaishnava of some kind anyway, but, within the modes of nature, or generally, but that doesn't mean a demigod cannot become a Vaishnava. Then he's glorious. But we've all been demigods. It's not like you're not. You can go up from Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavanji, means you've been up and down in the universe, up and down, up and down. But if you're fortunate, you will get the Bhakti Lata Bij. You will get the seed of devotion put into your heart by a Vaishnava who has that. Then your life starts. That's in the scriptures. The scriptures know all the mystic yoga systems, all coming from the same scriptures as the one who said that. The conclusions given by Vyasadeva, who compiled all the scriptures, talking about how to become a mystic yogi, talking about all these different kinds of sacrifices, talking about how to get a high birth and all of it. He's saying, if you're lucky, you will get the seed of devotion. Then your life can start. Otherwise, all this stuff that I just told you, it's useless. Just going round and around the universe, up and down, up and down. Well, for what? Where's the benefit? And therefore, this knowledge will make all of that look like the amount of water that's found in the hoof print of a calf. Nothing. Like waking up from a dream. Jai. Good question. Jai Sri Upadesamrita ki jai. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Oh, Prabhu, would you mind handing me that drum? Any other questions or anything?
A comment. Wasn't it interesting to receive the visit of Durga and Maya at the same time? Do you think that means something?
No. They're just names that they've gotten from somebody.
Durga and Maya combined.
Well, they're the same person. I mean, in fact, no. But it was kind of fun. I mean, interesting. We had, in the program, we had Durga, Maya, and Christian
They were lined
sitting
up.
together, listening to Bhagavad Gita. Hari Hari Nama Krishna Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajaka Chajar Sati Sri Srimati Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajaka Chajar Sati Sri Srimati Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Sagoswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Sakamat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Any special day today?
Let me double check.
Yesterday, by the way, was the disappearance day of our very, very dear friend Sri Rupadesamrita Prabhu. And I missed that on the calendar. I knew it was coming, but I spaced out yesterday. And very, very dear to Srila Gurudev. And we are happy, we're so happy to remember him. I remembered, I saw it a little later in the day.
It's a Krishna Nitya, departure of Sri Gaura Hari Bhakta Sampad Prabhu.
Oh, Bhakti Sampad Prabhu, Ki Jai, Mahamotsa, Ki Jai,
Jai.
And Rishabdev Prabhu, Ki Jai. Very special Vaishnava. So, and then I'm sure that Kumkum Didi was also remembering Rishabdev. She was his wife for some time in this lifetime. And anyway, we're always happy to remember him, his lotus feet. And Gurudev very much honored him, actually. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gira Ji Ki Jai. Haribol.
Shanta Didi is here saying Dandavat. Ilya Ivagrihim Chai.
Who?
Ilya Ivagrihim Chaev.
I can't hear you.
Ilya Ibrahim Chaev.
Oh.
Bima Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat.
Kumkum Didi.
Jai. Jai Didi.
Shyama Malini. Antya Lila Didi.
Dandavat. Dandavat.
Did I say Kumkum Didi already?
You did.
Dandavat, dear devotees.
Very happy to have your divine association this morning. Jai Gurudev. Dandavat.
Dandavat. Srimati Lekha Didi Ki. Just weird to think.
So many times. Brahmandi Brahmite. Going, Brahmandi means the universe. Brahmite means round and round. Like Bhagavan means fortunate. The fortunate Ji, Guru, Krishna, Prasade Bhai will get the mercy of Guru and Krishna and receive the Bhakti Lata. The Lata means like a climbing plant. Beej means the seed. You will get the seed of the creeper of devotion.
Wow. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Unbelievable. So much to do. Let's see. Prasadam, Seva.
Prasadam.
Prasharam.
I need help. It says, need help. Do you just turn it off, or what do you do?
Phone?
Yes.
You just get out of that app and then you lock the phone.
One second, Didi. Coming.
Thank you, man.
For sure. Alright. How many pancakes do you want, Didi? They're pretty small and thin.
A couple.
Yeah.
Did you use a recipe?
No, I just used the mix.
Oh, yes, okay, I'll say three. I'm worried about the pancakes.
Oh, yeah, no, these ones are good.
I mean, I'm not saying Chris, I think it's good.
Narada Muni.